That's like your mid year at that point. Youthful is like your teenage year.
It's Saturday.
It's 1 o'clock.
Saturday. Oh, man, I love Saturdays. And you've chosen to spend your time wisely. Might be the best decision you made all week to spend your Saturdays right here with us on WFOV 92.1 lpfm-Flint, Eclectic Ramblings. Donna.
Yes.
Get that microphone and tell me how you doing.
I'm fantastic and getting better every moment.
You keep saying that. How do you keep getting better?
Because I need to keep speaking it into existence.
Well, I agree.
Yeah, so fantastic
You know
and
what?
getting better.
I have a belated Christmas gift for you.
Really?
I do.
What is it?
And don't get excited. It might not be good. But it
I'm going to
is.
get excited anyway.
I think it is. Remember when I bought those haritaki fruits?
Haritaki.
Remember
You
the
got some
haritakis?
haritaki?
Girl, I got a year-old bottle
Of marinated
of
haritaki.
marinated haritaki juice.
Yes.
And
yes.
it's all yours.
Thank you. Why aren't you using it?
I am scared of it.
That's okay. I'll use
That
it.
stuff looked like death warmed over.
That's okay. I will use
You gonna
it.
drink it or bathe in it? What you gonna
All
do?
of the above.
I don't know that I need to know you. You scare me sometimes. Really? Well, Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you.
Or Kwanzaa.
Okay, I'll take
Better
all
deal.
of that.
Better deal.
Yes.
We'll do a Kwanzaa deal for
Well,
you.
thank you so kindly.
So how was your week?
It was fine until I watched that R. Kelly thing.
You watched it?
I did all that I could not to, but for some reason I was drawn in.
Really? I mean, how? What was the straw that broke the camel's back?
I was trying to take a nap,
Okay.
and every time I went to take a nap, I kept hearing, "You should watch that. You should watch that. You should."
Really?
And when I watched it, I was so disturbed.
What did you think you were going to be when you watched the R. Kelly
I didn't
beat up
think
the
it was-
girls video?
What?
I'm sorry. What did you think you were going to get?
I didn't think it was going to be as well. You know, I live in a whole nother planet, so I didn't know it's going to be as deep as it was.
Wait a minute. Everybody's been talking about it for the last week.
I know.
Everybody's been
And
outraged and
I
up in
hadn't
arms.
watched it. I hadn't watched any of them.
All right,
And then
so
eventually, I just
let me ask this question. What was the most damning part of the video in your minds?
that he kept them captive. They couldn't communicate. I mean, even just to talk about it, it's really
Isn't
doing
that-
something to me. So
But I thought that was like standard operating procedure for those type of personalities.
what personality?
Crazy.
I didn't know he was crazy like
You didn't
that.
know you didn't know he was crazy.
No.
You knew he had proclivities,
Yeah. I did
and
know
those
that.
proclivities weren't exactly normal.
But I didn't really.
Are you a
But
fan of his music?
I was
Are
gonna
you?
say I'm not. I listened to it, but I've never been a fan of. I've listened to his music, but you know how people are a fan of people. I don't think I've been a fan of anybody really.
You know what? What I
Except
remember.
for El DeBarge when he had that song. I wonder who's holding Donna now.
That's not fair. That's not fair. You know what impressed me about R. Kelly was that remix that he did.
Ignition.
I think so.
I
And
think-
just
I mean,
the
that's the-
introduction to that remix was so unique.
Right.
And it was almost, behind the scenes kind of action, and
Right.
it drew you in to the
It
song.
absolutely did.
So I really liked that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably a part of crazy too. He said, "Y'all, I'll tell you what, let's do this." And they said, "Let's try it." Right?
Right.
I like that. But other than that, I'm no big fan. No.
Well, I'm a Chicago stepper. I do Chicago stepping, so a lot of his music was incorporated into that. So
So I hadn't seen it, and I assumed I kept saying in my head, why would he do something? Why would he produce something like that? I assumed he starred in it, and it was like the Bobby Brown
oh no.
thing with Whitney Houston. But apparently, it's the girls are
Yeah.
all.
The ones that got away.
So it's just like it's on TV, and why is it on TV and not in the courts?
Because every time he went to the courts, he got off. So I guess they're trying to judge and jury him via TV. I'm not sure.
But then he would be. You can't. That's be double jeopardy, wouldn't it? You can't be tried for the same crime twice. So if he's already gotten off on abusing these girls, the one girl, okay.
One person, but
well, you said every time he goes.
Well, I don't know. But that's what I'm getting. That he's been accused more than one time. Either he's paid someone off. Like I said, I didn't watch all of it because I couldn't. Because what I did watch was so disturbing. Yeah. And I do believe he's not the only person.
I haven't seen Hotel Rwanda.
You haven't?
For the very same reason. I just can't wake up and say, hey, I feel like watching a Holocaust today.
Right.
You know, I want to watch people suffer and be
I mean,
killed
right.
and just...
And that's almost how I feel about a lot of the slave movies that they show.
I haven't seen 12 Years a Slave either.
I saw that one. And
how did you feel when you walked
devastated me
out?
too because he was free. He was a free individual and then pulled into slavery.
So to spend $9 to watch Injustice, this isn't in my budget. I can go out on the street and see that.
I think I could be. I think I could. I'm too.
You got people to wave at. Donna's streaming live on Facebook for those of you guys listening on 92.1 WFOV, 92.1 lpfm-Flint. It's Our Voices Radio. We're a community service of Flint Odyssey House, and we're determined to make a difference. But we need you to too. So if you got a message you need to get out to the community, if you're doing something fabulous or maybe not so fabulous, if you're doing something, your church group, your club, your organization, maybe your block association or your neighborhood association, give us a call at 810-259-9789. Is 810-259-9789. And we're determined to make a difference. And we need you to too. Right, Donna?
Of course.
So you brought yourself down with a little R. Kelly this week.
I did.
What'd you use to pick yourself up?
Affirmations.
I don't like R. Kelly. I don't like
No, it had nothing to do with him.
What affirmation?
I am a confident, beautiful person, and I am great. I am this. I am a multi-millionaire. Those types of affirmations.
See, I thought it would lean towards more. I would have knocked him upside the head with a coffee pot. I would have.
No, those aren't
I
positive. Those aren't positive.
Well, it matters. You just coming off the R. Kelly thing. I think you might want to ramp out. No. So how long did it take you to get over it?
I'm not.
Still?
I'm still. I mean, just talking about it almost had me tearing up. So
You brought it all back.
yeah.
So, is that the new way to solve social ills? To do a Lifetime movie? I mean, we had a Lifetime movie for the Flint water crisis.
I don't think it's a movie. It's not a movie.
It's a documentary?
It's a documentary.
We've had documentary.
Oh, that hasn't done anything for us in our situation.
I think it did. I think when those things came out, there was an influx of giving.
But it's still a problem. It hasn't gone away, but it feels like it has nationally. No one cares anymore because we have other craziness.
Do you guys remember? Do you remember Love Canal?
Who?
Love Canal.
What is that?
It was a place in the 70s that got contaminated with radioactive. It was like a whole suburban.
No, I was outside probably skipping. If that.
Well, it was devastating. You know, these people died, and all the houses in the area were contaminated with radiation. So they
is that
emptied
the one
out.
that Aaron
Brockovich? No, I don't think Aaron. I don't know. I don't remember. No. I think that was another one.
Oh, okay.
Might have been.
Well, so this type of thing has been
happened in the past, and it's kind of our responsibility to keep it in the the national spotlight. But what do we want to do? You know, we've got to be responsible for our own narrative, right? And do we want to be the hands out, we need help, pitiful, poor Flint folks?
No.
Do we want to be the lead ravished community, or do we want to be the city that's bouncing back from these devastating setbacks?
I can see the bounce back, but I don't see the bounce back for everyone. That's my concern. I need to see that everyone
Come on now,
getting
everyone is a
bounce.
big number.
I know it.
Everyone is a big number, and we didn't have everyone before the water crisis.
This is true. This
You
is
know,
true.
so
but
we got at least say 70% or
Okay.
60-40 or you know what I mean?
Any of-
Because
any-
there's
I like those. Any of those.
as Stan
numbers
said,
is
we
fine
got to
for me.
have burger flippers.
But to see, I see a certain community. No one is really having a bounce back, and that saddens me again.
Okay, well, define what would be a bounce back for that community.
Employment.
Then they had employment.
Huh?
They had employment previous to the water crisis.
No, of course. Those
So
are,
how do you
see,
bounce back?
This is my issue because there are layers of things that is happening in this city,
Right?
and before you can catch your breath, something else.
Right.
You try to catch your breath, something else.
Uh-huh.
So it's like we're being strangled.
This is bothering me.
Well, fix it. But then I can't see you.
That's all right. I'm gorgeous. I know already.
I'm glad you have confidence like that.
Yeah, I do. Why not? If not me, who? Mama's gone. Although I do have the tape. Okay, so there's definitely layers in that. Did you do anything else but watch R. Kelly? Anything? Have you seen the Netflix Vander thing?
I'm getting ready to start my juice therapy at Burston.
Okay.
We're gonna have our informational on January 31st, the day after my birthday.
Oh, put that out there.
I put that out there
Are
for
you
the world.
are you
to
one of
see.
those that wear the dollars on your coat?
I have, but normally no.
Okay. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, it worked. I mean, I've done it at a birthday party,
At the party.
and you can rack up that way.
You're cuter than I am then.
You didn't get anything.
The 5 I put up there. I call it seed money. And I walked out with my own seed money, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, so you're gonna start it at Burston, and you got
So Angie and I are working together.
okay.
So it's juice therapy and inside cycling.
Okay, so you drink the juice first or after?
Well, it's not really together, but sorta. And we haven't figured out. We're gonna do a survey, the January 31st, and see how people want to do it.
So now-
I have something in my head, but I need to see what works for the
All right.
multitude.
You have a plethora of
Ideas.
I just trying to use that word of detoxing shakes or
Of course, and mine is a 8-week program. So I'm gonna try to stick with that one formula for that whole 8 weeks.
I need something that'll get yeast out of my body.
Quit drinking milk. Stop doing dairy.
All dairy, cheese, and everything.
Yes. It's
Come on.
mucus producing,
Yes.
and it causes all of that weird stuff
It
to happen.
does.
Yeah.
Dang.
Dang. I'm sorry.
Dang.
I'm sorry. We have somebody here. I think he knows something about this stuff too.
Dang. Wait a minute. I'm not going to sit in. See, I might as well watch the R. Kelly special. You just brought me down.
I'm not gonna laugh at that. I'm so angry with you right now.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Introduce your guest.
We have Mr. Bill
Thompson.
Thompson. I do apologize. Tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
Yes, my name is Bill Thompson. I'm a Flint native. I don't currently live in Flint at this moment. My family is still here. My grandmother and my mother, aunts and uncles still live in Flint.
Do they live in the city of Flint?
They live in the city of Flint.
Okay, we'll revisit that when you
Yes.
finish talking about.
My grandmother, she's 101.
Yay!
Miss Lula Bell Thompson.
Yes, Miss Lula
God
Bell.
bless her soul.
Man,
She
I
is
heard
still
a little
alive and
Jamaican in
strong.
that accent. You got some Jamaican in you?
Nah, just a little bit of Ghana in me. So.
I heard something.
Did you hear it?
I heard it.
I didn't hear anything.
Little guy, yeah.
Because of my grandmother.
Oh,
Must be that Mississippi blood. I was born in Mississippi.
oh, okay.
Came to live in
Nice.
Flint, Michigan when I was around about 9 or 10 years of age.
All right. Go ahead. Keep going.
So yeah, I'm I
People forgive me because I may start sneezing, so forgive me before it happens. Go ahead.
yes, I'm a Central Michigan University graduate.
Okay.
I have various degrees in
Aren't we
medicine and
supposed to? Aren't we
fitness
supposed to
and-
scream something when he says that?
Huh?
Isn't it like go Peacocks or what?
I have no
Chippewas,
idea.
Canaries,
Go
or
Chippewas.
Chippewas. There
Go
we go.
Chippewas.
Go Chippewas. All right. My bad. I wanted to be PC.
I'm a former track athlete from CMU. I did not major in business, but I currently own 6 businesses in the Great Lakes.
So
Greater
what did you
Tri-State
what
area.
did you major in?
I majored in the sports study medicine. And
So you're a doctor?
if you want to call me a doctor, call me a doctor.
I'ma call you
I'm
doctor.
a business guy. So
Doctor's a business guy,
I'm a businessman,
and they get to practice. You can't even practice. You got to be for real.
That is true. That is true. That is true. I currently see patients throughout the week. I do cold laser therapy. I work with patients. I'm a pain management specialist. So I work with
Holistic?
holistic, non-invasive to the body.
Yes.
About to say they're coming after you guys, but if you're holistic, you're okay, right?
Absolutely, you're holistic, you're okay. So for me, it's non-invasive. I can work on animals, humans.
Yay.
Whoever wants to be a little bit less pain in their bodies itself. So
Do you incorporate acupuncture, acupressure, or
I do.
massage
Is it we more
therapy?
trigger point therapy, acupressure, reflexology?
Reflexology, okay.
I know some acupuncturers in the area, so I will refer them over to them. But
Awesome.
for me, I use the trigger point therapy. I have a orthostem device that actually stimulates a
goes
particular
deep,
trigger.
deeper
yes.
than your finger could
Yes.
with that reflexology thing
what,
going
What
on.
about
It's-
Reiki? Is that in your?
You know,
tool belt?
I'm not a specialist in Reiki, but
I am a
Reiki,
Reiki practitioner.
Yeah.
I'm a believer.
Yeah, but Reiki is fantastic. It's holistic medicine.
I'm a
So
believer.
yes. So
I do Reiki. I do reflexology.
yeah. I did reflexology for many
massage
years.
therapy.
I knew there was a reason I liked you.
And I'm a specialist in kinesiotherapy. So I
don't
do
know
a lot
that.
of kineso taping.
What's kineso?
Kineso is as a kinesiologist, study of movement, range of motion. So I use the kineso tape to actually assist the muscles, ligaments, and tendons, and bone to move more naturally, more functional.
So what I'm noticing, a lot of people are suffering with sciatic pain. What are your suggestions in regards to that we could do at home?
I think most people just don't stretch enough, for once. Footwear, I think, is very, very important. That's why I'm in that type of business now.
Okay, let me ask you this question, because I am holistic and I like to be barefoot. So tell me, is that a bad thing? I like to connect with my universe.
Yes, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I mean, we were born barefoot,
Okay, thank you.
and I think it's okay to a certain extent. But we have been catered to the life of footwear.
Right.
And when you have been catered to that level of footwear, and different footwears at different shapes would cause different stress points in your feet, which could cause a lot of tension. And people always say, if your feet hurt, they hurt all over. There's a lot to that.
Well, and that's because a lot of your everything is connected to your feet, your hands,
Yep.
your spine, your head. So that's the reason.
That
Am I
is the
correct?
reason. Yes, your organs itself have divine connections to the mapping pressure zones of your feet. And those pressure zones itself, once they are being stimulated, it could actually take stress right off. Or even actually start the body into its healing process.
So when I'm asking for a foot massage every day, that's in order, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
That
just
is a
wanna make
great
sure.
order. You know, that is medicine at its best.
That's right. Along with laughter.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Sounds like you might walk out with a prescription. Give me one. Nice. So, how long have you been away from Flint? I guess not, if your parents are still here, right?
My parents is my mom, stepdad.
He's
sister.
not far enough to say he's away
I'm
from
not away.
Flint.
I'm not away.
Agreed.
He's up the
I'm
street.
here. Both my sister and my niece actually works for the state of Michigan. They work right downtown
Okay.
Flint. So I visit as much as I can.
Okay.
Definitely on holidays, we usually will come here. My wife family is also from Flint, but they're on the outside of Flint, Flint Kersley area. So I'm always going to stay connected to my roots here. And unfortunately, I did not open up a business here, especially running store. There was a store that already existed.
I'm curious to is that why?
Yeah. It was already a store
Bronner's,
existing here.
was it
It's a
Bowman's?
complete runner in Ballman's. Ballman's is in Grand Blanc, so then they're actually in Flint. But Complete Runners off Dordt Highway, so they are a good company. A new owner has that particular store now. Good guy named Brad Brown. Really good guy. So for me to open up a store here to go against him,
Saturated market.
it's not good business because we're all a part of the running retail association. So my stores are just north of here. So my closest store is Saginaw to the Flint area, and that is my flagship store. It's about 7,000 square feet.
Now why running? Was it a passion?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a passion. I've been running all my life, and I think with the aspects of me being a runner and to where people they tend to shy away from understanding the importance of your feet and footwear itself. People think all shoes are just shoes.
I was just going to ask you that. What differ from your shoes than the shoes that they can get at
Stop! Don't call no names.
Well, I think a lot of the large department stores they're making footwear more so it's part of their marketing. Don't get me wrong, New Balance is one of our I think it's our number 2 company.
But do they have a different brand of shoe that you carry versus what they carry in a larger department store?
Absolutely. There are certain shoes that will only be sold at specialty running, walking and running stores across the U.S. We have companies like Ultra. We have a new brand that we're bringing in. It's called Hoka. And we also have, New Balance and Saucony. We've had Adidas and Asics. I do not sell Nike at my company and never have and never will. That's another discussion on a whole nother day.
No, baby, I don't know now. I mean, I wasn't a big Nike fan. I lean more towards Reebok, and I'm sure you might have some issue with them too. But I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to buying shoes.
Well, Nike.
My wife just got me out of Payless. You hear me?
Well,
so I'm doing
pay less,
good.
walk less.
That's
the way
for
I look
sure.
at it. I think we spend more money on vehicles, cars, and clothes, and not actually the footwear that we need that we're standing on our feet every single day.
Okay, so just because I bought a $150 pair of a type of shoe from the department store doesn't mean that's the best shoe for my foot.
That is absolutely correct, because what we do at Runners Athletics is that we analyze your gait. We do what they call a gait analysis on you. That is free as part of our service. Once we analyze your gait, we then look at what we call pressure mapping. We have you stand on a board. It's heat transfer. It gives us an imprint. And from there, we look at the shape of your foot.
And let me ask you this, for all ages and sizes?
All ages and sizes. We have kids, performance shoes. We have adults. We have diabetic approved shoes. We are just one of those companies that's going to carry the odd sizes, width selection, shoes that have more depth in them. So for orthotics, some people have custom orthotics, and those orthotics then have to be fitted to the correct shoe in order for them to do its job, because the orthotic is only good as the base that it's on.
You're right. That makes sense.
I fought it for years. My wife said that, you can't be buying these cheap shoes. You can't be buying these cheap shoes. But my logic was I could buy 5 pair of cheap shoes and rotate them out, as opposed to one $250 pair of shoes that I have to wear every day.
That's good for your foot.
Right.
But our most expensive shoe is only $165 to $170.
How you gonna say $165 when I used to buy Converse gym shoes. Good shoes, right?
No.
They're horrible shoes.
Converse shoes is it's the way it's constructed. You have to understand that it's like sitting in a regular chair versus a therapeutic chair that's actually going to have some different zones that's going to support your lower lumbar and things like that. Same thing with your feet.
They're mass produced. Right.
And so you get what you pay for When you come to my company, we are a full service company. We do not even allow you to put your shoes on at our store.
Okay.
Ah, yes.
So,
I remember back in the day they had that, so I can come and experience that.
absolutely, it is an experience, and our goal is to educate you. None of my staff work on commission, so we don't have any wolves running around there trying to sell this and sell that. It's not about that. It's about the aspects of fitting you the correct way. My goal is to educate you because we have been conditioned all our lives that you serve yourselves. You go to these big department stores, and this is why a lot of the big stores are having problems now, because the internet is really taking a toll on them.
Right.
It takes a toll on everyone to a certain degree.
And you saying that, it just makes me think about Walmart or those stores that they're adding you scan. I don't like that.
No.
I don't want to have to do that. I think it takes away jobs.
It does.
And then the experience of working with a person, I need that experience.
Yes. And we give you that experience.
Well, the USCAN should offer you a 25% discount. I keep telling them, when this payday. You
Right,
put me
'cause
to
you
work.
be working,
you
right.
put me to work, I might as well come and get my check. Now I'm gonna go down here and talk to Sally, crack a
Right.
joke, and have a conversation.
Exactly. Interact.
Right, but I'm not gonna ask her about them scanners. So. That's the last thing I'm gonna do. So now, you've got three. Did you say three?
Four.
Four shoe stores.
Yep. Bay City, Mount Pleasant, Saginaw, and Midland. We are the only specialty running, walking store, fitness store in the Great Lakes Bay Tri-City area.
And is it going to be a Michigan thing, or are we seeing this as a nationwide, worldwide kind of branch out plan?
We've been offered, but I denied the offer. Just not ready. It's not about money with me.
Right.
It's about a brand. It's about what we're trying to do for the Michiganders here. So Michigan has a lot of running specialty stores, but I'm not going to say that all of them are created equal.
Correct.
Now let me ask you: do you have a large presence here at the Crim?
We don't. I don't actually set up at the Crim. We used to set up at the Crim, but it's the local store, Bauman's and Complete Runner. This is their territory. I don't necessarily want to come here to try to, force my feet in position here.
Oh, I'm seeing it more as a statewide thing. That you go to the Crim, you go to
Crim
the
is
one in
huge.
Detroit, you go
Crim
to
is,
the one at the
nation.
Mackinac
So,
Bridge.
in other words,
and-
you're asking, does he vend?
yeah, I guess so.
We
yeah.
set up at the Detroit Marathon Expo with the amount of people that actually come over from different states, from Canada. That's more beneficial for us.
Okay.
You have to understand, you still have to have manpower
Right.
when you're doing the Crim. August is a very extremely busy month for us. So it's hard for me to take 5 or 6, 7 staff members and put them at the Crim Expo, and then also I'm very busy.
So why is that time a busy time for you?
Cross country season.
Okay.
It's where it's still warm out, and I think people are getting. There's a lot of road races that are out there. People are doing a lot of walking and running, and they knowing that September and October there's going to start a transition. The season's going to change, so they're just trying to get the momentum back going. But cross country is one of the biggest things for us.
So if there's one thing that you can leave with people in regards to care of their feet for the long haul, because as people get older, they have medical issues and things of that nature, and they, like my mom, she can't find a shoe that works for her.
She hasn't visited Runners Athletics yet.
Okay.
I would say to anyone, take the time to do research.
We went to the one that you mentioned before on Door Highway, but she had a price range.
Okay. And that always will,
Make-
it makes a difference because our shoes start off at $99. I am not a store that's going to be a $59, $49. And one of the reasons is because now I'm comparing myself to department stores, and I can't compete with them.
Right.
I can't compete with that type of a price, but they can't compete with us with the knowledge that we bring to the table. So they have a place, and so do we. It's just are people willing to actually spend a little bit extra to show that they themselves have more value
Right.
to their feet. People are always going to have foot problems. Foot problem is going to be something that's always going to be around because we tend to buy based on what it looks like and based on a cheaper price. On how many can I get? You know, so for me, I've learned many years before that your feet are very important as a runner. Your feet are your foundation. It is the kinetic base of the kinetic chain, and so when you have better footing support at your feet, you support not just your feet, but your ankles and your knees and your hips and your low back. A lot of times people are having migraine problems and actually coming from their feet because their whole kinetic chain is out of alignment.
So, what is the process that you take in the kinetic alignment to get people aligned?
Well, there are people that's going to tend to overpronate to the medial side, meaning their arches are going to drop and they're going to roll to the inside. Some people walk on the outside. Some people are considered neutral. But in any case, you can have a shoe. You can be neutral and not have any problems. But once you put a shoe on, now you're subject to try to be balanced in that shoe. If that shoe is not correctly balanced to your feet and your foundation, it can cause issues.
Now, you mentioned earlier, I heard her say something about the barefoot and the grounding. Can you bring some light to that? Is that a valid principle or theory? Something that's studyable?
It's been studied in many cases, and I think it would differ from person to person. There are so many studies that have where in the running industry there was what they call barefoot running, and there was a company called Beat from Five Fingers, which was toe shoes. The shoes look exactly like your toes. The only issue was that people were taking those shoes, which are considered tools, and they were replacing their regular shoes with them. They were starting to have issues with, posterior tibial tendonitis, which is the inside tendon being overstrained.
They were wearing them too much?
Too much too soon. They were having plantar fasciitis, heel spurs, and things like that because they went from having footwear that may have worked okay for them to feeling this freedom of barefoot. And that's okay as long as it's done in moderation. So I know people who barefoot run, whatever works for them.
Cool.
But everyone human body is a little bit different.
But the grounding doesn't count, does it? If you're on concrete, isn't it that you have to be like on the earth or on grass?
I think the earth itself. I mean, of course, yeah, grass and the ground itself has a different type of energy that's going to be collected within your feet if you're on asphalt or concrete. It just depends on where you're at. From zone to zone, from place to place, there are different places that produces more energy than others. You can be next to a stream or a river. Their energy around you will connect and have a lot of energy that you can absorb.
So let me ask you this. If I can't wear sneakers every day, do you have the penny loafers? Do you have the dress shoes so that we can go to the office in proper footwear as well?
We do not carry a stylish boot or a penny loafer or casual shoe. That's where certain inserts come involved. We have different inserts that are designed to help support the feet. If you are a business person, I have on a pair of Rockport boots right now, and inside I have a pair of Curic inserts, and that's Currex. They are an insert that we sell at the store that is designed for a person's specific height of their arch, and they're about $49.99, and that is for the dress. And we have semi-rigid orthotics, half orthotics through Power Step.
All right, so now I'm sitting here doing the math. Now, can I put some of those in some cheap shoes?
You can, but remember, if that really cheap shoe is not well balanced, or is it soft, or is it a blown rubber that's really soft, and you've been a little bit bigger guy, once you step down, then you're subject to compress that insert. The insert needs to stay balanced underneath you. Different from like dress shoes. Dress shoes is
self-leveling, right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm imagining a gel in this thing, and that it would level your foot to the shoe. Right?
Yeah, well, that's where Dr. Scholl's have kind of they have kind of taught us that you stand on this
air cushion, right?
Yeah, and then cushion, right? You know what? I I'd rather walk on 2x4s than walk on pillows, and mainly because there's better balance at your foundation. Pillows itself are very unbalanced. Even though the step is soft, it's going to be out of alignment.
Okay. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Let me remind people to listen to WFOV 92.1 lpfm-Flint. It's Our Voices Radio. You guys can check us out online. We're doing the YouTube thing. We're doing the Facebook thing. We're doing the Twitter thing. We got Paul Jr. back directing. How's it going, baby? You all right? Wave at him. Wave at him. He's out there. He's out there. You got some waves over here, too.
Hey.
Donna's got her little FaceTime live going. Man, we're worldwide, Donna. You're going to be famous.
I'm gonna be famous.
Did I tell you that I'm being blackmailed?
By who?
We got fans, girl. We got fans.
Why are you being blackmailed?
I got an
What did you
email.
do?
I got another email. I think I told you this. This is another one, though. Guy told me that he had access to my account.
Oh, yes.
And that he got my video camera and all my pictures, and he's caught me in some compromising positions
Did you
in
say?
front of my laptop.
Did you tell him?
He wants $847 in bitcoins. I don't even have bitcoin. Or he's going to release this footage to the public.
Oh, and what
I'm about to become Kardashian famous, y'all. Huh?
I'm not gonna watch it.
Kardashian famous. I want to write him back and say let it go because I'd like to see who's doing stuff in front of my computer. You know?
Right.
I really would like to know.
Wow.
So if it happens, I mean, they'll probably send the email to you first.
Oh.
They'll go into my contacts and
find me?
send this.
When they send it to me, I'm gonna just forward it to you.
Oh, Donna, if you watch the R. Kelly.
I watched the documentary, not the other stuff.
That's true.
So.
That's true. All right, well, I'll be heads up because you'll forward it to me,
Okay.
right?
Right.
So, that said, don't accept any friend requests from me because it probably isn't, right?
Right.
Okay, you got anything good coming up?
Just my juicing thing
Take the
on
mic.
just the thing on the January 31st, the day after my birthday.
And that's how you set everything, right?
Yes.
It's only 365 days after your birthday, right?
Exactly. But you know what's unique is that my mother's birthday is the week before mine.
Okay.
Exactly the same day.
The week before yours,
her-
how can it be the
so-
week before yours exactly the same day?
The same. Okay, it falls on Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
Mine falls on Wednesday the week after.
And it always does that?
Every year. Yeah.
Nice. No?
Okay.
But
Just
better,
interesting.
It's better than being born on the 24th.
Ooh, yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah,
Or the
for
25th.
her.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
for everybody
Yeah,
involved, if you think about it.
right. Yeah.
Kind of bad deal.
So you said that you had family in Flint, and we were talking about the issues in Flint. How have your family survived the water crisis?
You know, my mother, my grandmother, and aunts and uncle who live here, I didn't know the severity of the water crisis until I actually came down here to see water stacked up in every inch and
So
every space.
just seeing that in itself, what does that make you feel? How did that make you feel?
It really made me feel that, you know, as a community and as a person that loved Flint, that Flint was taken advantage of in so many different ways. And I didn't realize the depth of it until I was driving down Pearson Road, my wife and my family, and I saw people running to the fire department. It says Pearson and DuPont, the fire department there. And traffic was at a halt. And people were taking cases of water on the bus. They were walking down the street. And it's something that I had never, ever imagined could have occurred in this area. I think the news media is one thing, and they do give us a perspective, but when you are a a Flint native and you are here, we just don't. People outside of us don't understand the depths, and that it still is affecting us deeply today. My mother still has cases and cases of water in her garage, and my grandmother, who now lives with my aunt. I mean, there's still cases of water, and I don't know, even within the next 5 to 10 years, that everything will be taken care of.
Right. But it seems to have died down in the media.
In the media.
And what I seem to feel is that we, as the residents of Flint, have become comfortable the way it is. So we're no longer fighting for something better.
Correct.
On a group effort.
Yes,
what are your thoughts?
They say that it's better. They say the water is drinkable. Those out there who are not living in Flint saying this just more so to protect themselves. And it's unfortunate that the people of Flint who have a strong soul to be able to deal with what they're dealing with to this degree. And my company, we're in Bay City. We did water drives at my stores where we had people bring cases and cases of water at my stores, and we got it down here to the necessary places, different churches that we had dropped the water off at. And
awesome.
It can almost make you feel emotional all over again, knowing that that's what the people dealt with, and so many lives were lost. Even if a person is still alive, their life was still lost, and they still trying to climb out of that darkness that they were in, and still is in to this day.
So as you ride through the city, do you see any changes? Do you feel that there things are happening? Do you see a resurgence?
I think unless you live here, and I don't live here. I don't live here, but I have family that's still here. I think doors are closed, but there's still the aftermath behind those doors that people are now not talking loud about. They're still talking, but it's more of a whisper now, and they're trying to accept the pain of being forgotten.
Well, I'm there too, but I'm waiting for the shoe to drop with the lawsuits.
Is that gonna happen for real?
There's so many different lawyering up folks in Flint, and they're all suing the city. So if the city loses the battle, what happens to me, the resident of Flint?
Right.
You won $4 million settlement. Now my taxes go up $300, $1,000. I mean, I don't know how that's going to work out. I don't know if they're suing the state, or you know what I mean. And I bet you different lawyers are suing different entities.
Right. It's weird.
That's the shoe I'm waiting to drop.
Yeah, I personally don't think that we will really get to the depths of it. It's such something that's so much more deeper than what we can even imagine, because there's a lot of things that was done behind closed doors. There was a lot of hands shaking in the shadows, and those people smiled and shook hand, where our people of Flint, they continue to cry in the pain and the suffering. Even the loved ones and the ones that were lost, who did transition on because of the poisoning of the water itself.
And what is the damage of?
We don't even know what those
to
are.
come.
Yeah. Go ahead and say hello to your Facebook friends. Bring them closer and wave at them and acknowledge them. They're out there. Say their names. Give them the shout out. Go ahead, Donna. Handle your business, girl.
It's too
Wave.
late.
Hit the white button. Hit the white button. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Now, right there you go. Boy, she's popular. Who you waving
something
at?
to you. Look, did you see that?
Well, read it out loud. You got people listening on the radio that can't see that.
What's up, Brother Bill? What's up?
You know who that is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
that's a long term. That's what we call a forever friend.
A forever
Awesome.
friend.
Awesome.
Good. So cleared it all out. You got all your peeps taken care of?
Yes. Thank you.
All right. You got anything exciting coming up other than?
No, nothing else. Not at this moment.
I need a smoothie.
Okay.
I need a smoothie that will make me look 10 pounds lighter.
Well, you're going to need a whole lot of smoothies.
Should I be insulted? Nope, not at all. I'll take it. I'll take it all.
So, what you need to do is just do a detox altogether.
I think so.
And right now, you can survive without having anything. You have to work through those hunger pains, though.
Oh, Joe, just stop eating?
Mm-hmm.
Just stop eating. For how long? Stop looking at my belly. She looked at my belly and said, oh, I don't know if there's that much time left in the world. You're like, ooh, child, you're not going to be able to eat for a while.
you could just change what you're doing. Just
how
change.
long? I'm really being good.
It all depends.
But see, I'm eating salads, but I put cheese on it. And I stopped putting the little artificial,
bacon.
Ooh, stop. the fake cheese, and I've been getting the real wedges.
Okay.
Not the processed cheese.
Okay.
But
You
instead
were putting that on your
stop.
salad?
I was
I digress.
less than a year. Okay.
Well,
I
you're
mean, I still got
graduating.
some. We use it. But I'm using, real Asiago, real cheddar, real, and I got to get that up too.
I hate to tell people to give up things that they absolutely like. I just say do things in moderation.
So no cheese every day.
No
cheese
cheese
is a treat like ice cream. Once a week, maybe once a month. He's just shaking his head. This brother's dead. He's not gonna make it. Oh man.
So let me ask you this: how often do you eat a dark green leafy salad?
At least 3 times a week.
Can I get you?
I will
Can I
put
get you
fried
to?
chicken on. I will pan fried chicken in olive oil and put it on it, so it's a chicken spinach salad.
Okay, can we? Some of those days not use the chicken?
I think we could.
And can we increase the days that we do the dark green leafy vegetables?
There's only 5 days in a week.
Can you do 7?
7 days. And this is it? I mean, this is better than not eating at all? You said at first, you said I couldn't eat at all.
Well, I was just being...
evil.
Yes.
It worked.
No, I encourage you to at least do a dark green leafy salad with every day.
And you're assuming I'm eating 3 meals a day, right?
I hope
I'm
not.
a 1 meal a day kind of guy.
That's controversial as well. You have
intermittent fasting.
It does.
You're right.
It does.
And during those times, it gives your body time to heal itself. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. The part that's a bad thing is the amount of food and what you choose to eat when you do
eat that
eat.
1 meal.
More meals are better.
More small meals. I've always heard that.
Because it allows your metabolism self to continue to stay
Stable.
Yeah, stay stable. Once it drops, so your body will burn more fat if you're actually eating more little small meals. So you continue to keep your metabolism.
Well, what I find myself doing is giving up the potato chips. I did that, that's a treat too, like the ice cream. But what I really enjoyed is the whole nuts. You get those bag of whole nuts during the holidays. You can get the almonds and the pecans,
Nuts
and
are fantastic.
you gotta crack them. So I've been using that
Yeah.
to munch on when I get the munchies.
I think most
sitting at
people
my desk.
they like the fact that they have something that actually crunch.
Yes.
And there are potato chip options that are out there.
Like kale chips that Charma makes.
Yes.
Have you had Charma?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
But they're not chips.
Yeah.
They are.
They are not potatoes.
They're still chips.
There are different options that are available for you. You have to go look for them.
See, he's kind.
Yeah, but see, my fear is I gotta buy a $5 bag of something that I might not like.
Actually, you can get them.
$8 bag.
You can get them at a very good price at.
I'm not talking about the. I love the kale chips.
Okay.
They're delicious.
Okay, well,
But they
find
are
some-
not. They won't satisfy that potato chip.
But that's a mindset. That
Of
means
course,
you have to
it's a
change
mind
your
and it's a palate.
right. And so every 7 years your taste buds change. And it takes about 10 times of an exposure to a food to acquire a taste for it.
So I can wait for 7 years and start changing my taste buds? Is that
no,
what you're saying?
you need to
Start now?
yeah, you need to
You need-
play with things and try new things.
Try new things.
And if
Yes.
you need to try things. You know, if you try things at least 100 times, it can actually become a habit. So if you try it, eating something on a healthier zone, it can become more of a habit of you doing it.
I agree. I agree 100% with everything you say.
But does that mean you're going to do it?
You know, I doubt it. I doubt it. But I mean, yes, I am and I'm not. You know what I mean? I'm trying.
Well, and that's the gift.
I'm trying, but I'm not 100% there.
And that's okay.
Right.
Never stop trying.
Right.
That's the key. Never stop trying.
I made a salad last night that was just fabulous.
I don't even want to know
Mandarin
what's
oranges,
Oh, yes.
red onion. I had, what was that? What else was in it? Oh, I was going to go avocados, but Paul Jr. got avocados that were rock hard. I didn't think I could cut them open.
Okay.
But we had 2 types of white onions, red onions, and just spinach.
Oh, that's it.
Spinach, no, I had cheese. I put the cheese in it. I'm not going to lie, I had the cheese in it. I didn't put any tomatoes in it. Oh, eggs. Boiled eggs. I cooked up 4 big boiled eggs and cut them up. It was delicious.
Sounds fantastic.
It was. I was proud of myself. So now I got to do that again tonight.
Yeah.
There might be some left.
Okay. That's fine.
All right, I'll be okay.
And how often do you eat dry beans?
Glad you mentioned that. Because after you don't eat dry beans, you eat beans, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the best way to buy them is in their dried state versus buying them canned.
Well, I get the bag of 13 bean,
Okay.
and then I soak
The
them
soup?
overnight. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then unfortunately, I put the ham bone in from the ham we had. And stop laughing, Doc.
Flavor.
Well, are there options to that for flavor?
Absolutely.
And give us some of those options that you can give to him, please.
You know,
I did the same thing with the turkey, so
yeah, turkey is a good option. You know, and I think even if you don't want meat, then there are seasons. There are different seasons and spices that you can add that will give you some flavoring.
And
Chicken stock.
well, you know, I'm not against the beans alone.
And
I really am not.
what's exciting about the spice is that you can have that same bean, change up the spice, and have a totally different bean.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's. I'm gonna say it's lack of thinking on my part. I just know when I grew up, Mom put a ham hock in the beans,
Right.
and that was just a part of it. So it's you
But
drop
let
it
me
in there.
tell you
Now,
why.
we did advance to turkey.
Let me tell you why you don't want to do that.
Why?
Because the fat from the ham hock coats the bean, and the nutrients aren't able to penetrate that bean.
But when you bite and chew it and masticate it, doesn't all that stuff get?
It doesn't.
Come on, Doc, quit laughing. What are you doing over there? You're making me nervous. I'm dead.
So your best option, if you want to change your habits, slowly start taking a little bit of your meat away and adding more onion and garlic and spices. Be creative.
I'm making a spice rack in the kitchen.
Okay.
And I went to one of the little box stores and I bought these 8 packs of jars to hold your spices.
Mm-hmm.
But I bought like 60 of them. So the goal is to fill each one up with a different spice and start playing with all the spices.
Yes, that's exciting.
And I'll do that instead of meat. I'll lose the meat and get a little bit of cardamom or something. You're not believing me, are you?
I'm trying to.
I think it'll be fun.
You know what is one of my favorite things to do? Is saute portobello mushroom with can't even think of the spice that I use.
I use Italian dressing.
Cumin.
Cumin, okay.
Yeah, cumin.
Okay.
And onion. And that is wonderful.
Do you get rid of the stem?
Well, sometimes it all depends on what I just cut it up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cut it up and saute it, and that's for me.
Are
I
you a
enjoy
vegetarian,
that.
Don?
I am not.
So you're carnivorous?
Yes, I am.
Fish and turkey only, I take it? No beef, no pork?
No, I eat pork
Do
in
you?
moderation.
And what's moderation? 4th of July?
Yeah.
5th of July? 6th
I'm a type of person that where I have no problem with minusing out things in my everyday diet. The sweets itself has been kind of a stronghold for me, and I find myself I detox, and
How often?
I have detox. I think twice a month is always good. Maybe like once every 2 weeks.
Wow.
Now, for those people who think that's a lot, what I try to encourage people to do,
Well, maybe,
if they can't do anything, 4 times a year, at least try to detox.
well, maybe his detox isn't as tense as the annual detox.
But you also understand, if it's twice a month, it's if you can do a 48-hour or 72-hour detox.
And I kind of do that because I don't.
Okay, let's define.
Week-long
let's define
detoxes
detox.
are very, very, very hard. So
Let's define detox.
It all depends on what you're doing, because you can do a no food detox, you can do a water detox, you can do a fruit and veg. So it's.
But detox is
more
detoxifying your body of those substances. So why would I want to do a fruit detox? It sounds like I'm adding those fruits to my body
But see, it
to rid something else out.
because it has the
something else.
enzymes in it. It helps you to digest the foods that you're eating.
the ideal is to get yourself back more balanced to what they call gut health. And what you eat absorbs into the lining of your stomach, which causes inflammation, which then feeds the joints and the cellular, the cells of our body, so which then produces cellular inflammation, which a lot of people have arthritis, and they shouldn't even have arthritis because of what they eat produces more cellular inflammation in their body.
Okay, all right. Now I saw a special, and I'm not going to cite where because I don't know, but it said that there is no good food for any person or for everybody. Your body is made to accept a certain food that's good for you, and it may not be a food that's good for your wife or your children. You know what I mean? That your diet's supposed to. And it made me think of being African Americans, that our bodies may be more accustomed to an African palate, and that we need more of the yam that we're not getting, and those vegetables and fruits that are from the continent.
We're kind of hybrid now.
That we're longing for.
We don't have just that one gene anymore, so we have so many other things that's working within us. So you are supposed to listen to your body, but you can't listen to your body when a whole bunch of stuff is going on already in there.
Well, then
and that's where the detox comes in, because you can start hearing what your body wants. Does that make sense?
Could you use like a diabetes meter, a sugar or glucose meter, to test your blood sugar after a meal to see if it was a spike or a downer, right? And
you can do that. If you eat a meal and you want to go to sleep after you've eaten that meal,
right,
it didn't do what it was supposed to do. It's supposed to give you energy.
Yeah. Carbohydrates itself are the sludge of energy. When you infuse more carbohydrates into your diet itself, your body wants the protein. Your muscles made up mostly of proteins. Carbohydrates, when you eat it, you get sleepy, you get tired, you have less energy. I think there's you got to find a happy balance.
I thought that was a tryptophan in turkey, though.
Yeah. Well, tryptophan itself, I mean, that's different. I think that yard bird, that we call it, is a little bit different in how it has grown from the many, many years.
Right.
Yeah, so
definitely.
It's not the same bird that our grandparents were eating.
Not at
I
all.
agree. Listen, guys, we are out of time. I want to thank people. I want to thank you for joining us, Doc. And I might have to come up there and check out some shoes.
Please do.
because I'm going to have to run to the bathroom here in a minute. Donna, say goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Listen, guys, thanks for joining us. This is Eclectic Ramblings right here on WFOV 92.1 lpfm-Flint, Our Voices Radio. Determined to make a difference. Mom, all I gotta do is because of you.
Something to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.